Now, a few of you might know the answer. You're thinking, oh, I'll just increase sets, I'll just increase reps, and I'll just decrease my rest. That's how we do it, right? But we're missing the underdog here, and that is tempo. So what is tempo? Tempo is basically the amount of time it takes to perform a movement. So that's also known as time under tension, and this is what really dictates exercise intensity. So I'm going to go over a couple examples of how we can play with tempo, okay? So I'll go over here. I have an example how I would write it out: 3, 1, 2, 1. Now, when we're talking about 3, we go to eccentric, and I'm going to review that in a little bit. So this is the eccentric portion of the movement, also known as the lowering phase of the movement. This is a pause. This is the concentric phase of the movement, so bringing it upwards towards you. Again, I'm going to go over this during my example, and then this is a pause. So eccentric, pause, concentric, pause. So let's break this down. I'll do it with a bicep curl, all right? So grab some weights here. If I'm doing a 3, 1, 2, 1 tempo, I'm starting here. I'm doing 3 seconds down, 2, 1. That's my eccentric portion. Pause. 2 seconds on the way up for the concentric portion, and pause. So again, 3, 2, 1, pause. 1, 2, pause. So that's just the bicep curl example. Now we can also break this down into a squat, because there's always upper and lower movements. But again, this is for every single movement. You can break it down into the eccentric and concentric portion. So when looking at the squat, we'll do the downward phase, the eccentric portion. 3, 2, 1, pause. 2, 1, pause. 3, 2, 1, pause. 2, 1, pause. All right, so that's eccentric, pause, concentric, pause. So why is the eccentric phase so important? Well, a lot of you might not know this, but when you're performing an eccentric motion, you can actually carry on 40% more load than you can with the concentric phase. And when we're doing the eccentric phase, we're breaking down more muscle fibers, so there's more opportunity for muscle growth. So we want to really focus on eccentrics when we're trying to build muscle. That's the smart thing to do, all right? When you supplement that with good nutrition, you're going to build muscle, okay? You're off to a good start when you play with eccentrics during your workout, all right? So that's one example. Let's go into another example, because with tempo, you don't just have to tweak the eccentric portion. That's a good idea, but you can also do something which I like to play with the isometric part. And where do we see that? Let me grab the board again. All right, so I have an example that's 3, 1, 2, 3. So we have eccentric, pause, concentric, pause. Now, the concentric phase, this is going to bring you to the hardest part of the motion. So this is where I like to stick an isometric hold in there. All right, I'm going to go over one of my favorite examples, is the glute med ball roll. This is my favorite exercise. Now check it out. So if I'm going 3, 1, 2, 3, I'm going 3, 2, 1, pause, 1, 2, and then 3. Here's my isometric hold after the concentric phase. So I'm really pushing in. That makes it super hard. 3, 2, 1, pause, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. There's an isometric hold. So you can really tamper with isometrics here when it comes to tempo. And when you're increasing your numbers, you're increasing time under tension. When you're increasing time under tension, you're increasing exercise intensity. So guys, do not ignore tempo when it comes to exercise intensity. A lot of you might be plateauing and you don't know why. You've already increased sets, you've already increased reps, you've already decreased your rest time. What else is there to do? This is huge, guys. This gives you a lot of variability with your movements. Play with tempo. If you guys have any questions on tempo and want me to go over more, I'm happy to do that. Just DM us. We are on Instagram at Fit2ATofficial. We will see you guys next time. Take care.